Okay, so look, for this final ABNcast interview of AIX 2024, we've come to the Aviation Scouts stand, and I'm joined by Hemal Bharadva, who is the Director of Operations and Engineering. Welcome, Hemal. Thanks for inviting us onto your stand to talk to you.
Thank you, Lee.
So just quickly explain what Aviation Scouts does and what are you here exhibiting this week?
In a nutshell, Aviation Scouts is a 25-year-old company specialized in bringing used aircraft interior back to the market. So we buy and sell aircraft interior. That means seats, aircraft interior parts like lavatories, galleys, bins, PSUs, and finally the spare parts, so the subcomponents of those assemblies.
Yeah.
And we buy that out of the market, and we have a reuse strategy, a sustainable concept to bring all that to the market.
You're sustainable at heart because reuse and recycle are part of what sustainability is all about, aren't
Yes, exactly. So our main goal is to extend the life of these cabin parts, which would otherwise be scrapped most of the times.
Yeah.
And the best way to be sustainable is to extend the life, and that's really our goal. We try to take these components, give them another life by giving them another chance to fly.
Yeah.
And that's our aim. Our main aim. Yes.
And I see on the back here, you've got obviously things like, so let's take seats for instance.
Exactly.
When you get the old used seats in, how old will they tend to be, and how much work goes into reusing them?
Yeah. Generally, seats are around 6 years old. That's a cycle when a normal national carrier or a big operator changes seats. They do that because of marketing reasons, or it's at a P2F. So we get seats which are fairly, I would say, used, 7 years old, and then they go through our shop. So we have a cleaning process, we have a repair process. Finally, when it's getting delivered to the next operator, there are some minor customizations, new dress covers, change of seat belts. So it's great because not only we are giving the life, but there's the supply chain in the aftermarket is all affected. Different types of vendors are getting chances to do and contribute to the life of the seat.
Yeah. And as aviation develops as a sector, and this side of the business, the secondary market, becomes more important, and people are more conscious of this.
Sure.
Do you find that the material is more easily repurposed? Is it built with that in mind, by the OEMs at the beginning?
Well, we're trying to change that. Generally, aviation parts are sustainable parts because they have to save weight, but they're not particularly designed to be reused, but that's because of the lack of process, and we're slowly trying to change that. We're having that dialogue at various OEMs.
That's a constant discussion in the industry.
Exactly,
from your side up to the OEMs.
Exactly.
Make our lives easier if you can.
Exactly. We need more sustainable designs, let's say a thought process on where this part is going to end up at the end of the life, and how to bring that life back. So
you see things built more modularity, where it's clip in, clip out, much easier.
For example, in aircraft seats, the goal is to have less part numbers on the seat as we progress. So there's been significant let's say progress towards that, a lot of commonality between parts. So as the number of parts gets reduced in a certain product, it's better to be sustainable. It's easier to maintain. It's better to learn.
Thomas, what have you been talking to visitors this week about on your stand? What's the new stuff that you've been talking to them about? What are the trends you're seeing?
Yes, well, we've been discussing various programs on the A330. So we've had very interesting discussions, positive discussions, that a lot of A330s are going to go through different operators. There will be about 10 to 15 young ACMI operators retrofitting A330s, which is great news for us because we have great A330 stuff. And in general, people are happy with how we are bringing new products and new ideas and trying to help them to reduce their carbon footprint, because in the end they don't have to buy new seats and wait for 12 or 13 months for them, and our programs are significantly quicker.
Yeah, and the trends in the industry are supply chain issues.
Exactly.
That's not just with components, but it's with aircraft themselves. So we were talking before we started this recording about the move to the wide-bodied aircraft more. Because, but this is causing you an issue because you're not getting the throughput because the new aircraft aren't coming on stream. But things change, I guess. You have to react
it's
accordingly.
just a bit stagnant in the sense that the moment Airbus and Boeing increase their production rates, there will be a lot of steer, and then things are going to wake up again, especially on the narrow bodies. Narrow bodies, all the lessors or the airlines are just happy to have an aircraft operating, don't want to change anything, and hoping to get more new aircraft so they can retire or do transitions on the old ones. But I think the problem will be resolved exponentially well the moment Boeing and Airbus start to increase their production rates by 2 or 3 aircrafts. The movement starts. So everything's been positive, more positive on the wider bodies than the narrow bodies. But yes, the customers and the industry love our concept that we are bringing this back, and we're helping them not to throw or trash this interior parts.
Sure. And one of the things on the board behind is IFE, so because that's technology driven.
Yes, exactly.
The speed of change there is always quick because technology moves very quickly. So what you're seeing in IFE?
Yeah, on the retrofit market, let's say doing a program where IFE is involved is complex, and from the industry we've seen that now there is a movement towards also the IFE OEM supporting retrofit programs, which is great because most of the times in our industry where we're using used seats, for example, IFE is usually deactivated because there's not enough support around this retrofit. So it's great because IFE is brand new many times or not used, and we're able to reuse it. But yes, we see positive things also on the IFE side. Yeah.
So you've been here 3 days, had lots of conversations and lots of meetings.
Yes.
What's been the kind of sense and feedback you get from the industry from this year's AIX?
I would say that we've had a crazy last year, and I think people are glad to catch a breather and wait for the next wave, I put it. So it's a nice stable time. Sure, there's some issues with the supply chain, but I think people are appreciating this breather of time and getting ready.
The crazy last year, is that still because of the impact of the return from COVID?
Yes, I think that everything was activated, people wanted to go out, people had money saved up, airlines started to be profitable again, so lessors extended leases and had new aircrafts coming in, and so it was a great year for aviation last year. Made aviation financially strong, and a lot more investments into people, into assets and things like that, and now there's like a breather, I call it, until the next wave comes.
A much needed breather. It's not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing, it's just a nice positive time to be in aviation. Sure, we have some issues, but it's great.
Do you think some of the lessons of COVID were learned? I mean, the industry was going in a certain direction, then suddenly everything ground to a halt, and maybe things couldn't carry on as before. Have things changed since COVID for good?
I think we all were vulnerable to that, so I think a lot of people, companies have come out resilient, and I think that's the key word, being resilient. The resilient companies or organizations have really taken that on their stride. I can say for Aviation Scouts, the pandemic was a time of reflection, time of change, time of looking at internal processes and seeing where our weaknesses were, and so we could bounce back. And so after surviving, there is some light in the tunnel. So being resilient, I think that's key.
One of the issues COVID exposed, as well as the supply chain and so on, which we're still working through, and it caused a bit of an issue, was people as well, wasn't it? So getting the right people in the industry. How are you finding that?
I think we lost a lot of great people from aviation to other industries.
Yeah.
So I think we have to do a bit of work to get back that, let's say, that prideful and that swag about aviation. Younger people are thinking twice. It's not the aviation from the 80s that, I want to work in aviation, it's going to be great. A lot of industries are offering better packages. So I think that management should make some changes toward that. We need to work towards the younger generation, asking leaders to go speak to young people at universities. I think that's
re-excite the young
people.
And you're a global company, so you're fishing in a global pond for talent.
Exactly. We are open. We're based out of Germany, and we're looking into the Philippines. We're looking into India, Singapore. So we are welcoming. The German government, for example, has opened the doors wide open for immigration. So I think aviation needs to learn that it's vulnerable in that sense, that there are other industries which can take people away from us. But it's still unexciting. It's still very sexy to work in aviation.
And actually, to come back to where we started, the fact that sustainability is a part of the industry, and actually you sort of do demonstrate that, even though you're putting people into a machine that burns fossil fuels.
Exactly.
That's not going to change. There is this.
There's a purpose.
Do people understand that you can work in sustainability and be in aviation?
Exactly. Yeah. You know what trains did for nations, aviation is doing for continents. So trade is going to grow. People will want to travel. There's a whole other continent with 4 or 5 billion people who are willing to who want to take holidays into Europe, and they can afford to do so. So aviation is to stay. It's not going anywhere. So we all need to play a part to build a sustainable purpose. So what I love about our company is that whoever comes in and works for us, they know that yes, it's a very materialistic environment, yes, because in the end somebody's flying the plane, and if we don't do what we do, somebody's not getting to vacation or is not making his business trip. But it's bringing so much to society, and our concept has that sustainability bit where we know that we're trying to reduce carbon footprint, where we're giving an alternative. Our milestone, for example, at Aviation Scouts, we want to have a catalog of interior parts, especially seats, for line fit. So one day, new planes could be fitted with used material. That's milestone. Whether we get there or not, yes, exactly. Because right now, whenever you buy a new aircraft, you can only put in new stuff. But our goal is there. So hopefully that ambition brings about change in the supply chain.
Events like this demonstrate what the industry is like. It's innovative. It is quite diverse. Actually, when you get here, we can see that in action this week. So thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the week. You've been busy and looking forward to a rest, I hope.
Yes. Looking forward to the weekend now. Thank you very much.
That's a pleasure. Thank you. Hemal, we'll see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.